So I'm a big believer of, if you really want to see how far you've come, you have to take some time to reflect and look back to see where you started. And often what you find will surprise you. And I thought it might be worth it just sort of like look back and see what some of my biggest takeaways were, because my goodness, was it one hell of a year with things so unforeseen. I still remember like skipping into 2020, like, yeah, it's gonna be my best year yet. Little did I know in November I was gonna be sent to my room for 4 months and not be allowed to leave the house. So the first biggest takeaway that I took from 2020 would have to be stay focused on the big picture, and this too shall pass. So it was a really interesting ride, like coming into the COVID lockdown. I literally just had a couple of my like best months in business, and I was like, wow, this is awesome, it's going to fly. And then literally within like a turn of a dial, I had 3 of my worst months in business ever for the history that I've had the brokerage, which is like, I think something like 5 years now. And the, I guess the thing that really held me steady through it, that didn't have me kind of like freak out and be like, oh my God, it's over, like business sucks, and sort of buy into all the chaos that was going on, was that just staying focused on the big picture and really connecting with why I was in business in the first place. And for me, that's really to help get education to the people who need it the most at a price point they can afford. Because when people have education and they have knowledge, they have power. When people have that kind of power, they can change the world for good. And like I said earlier, this too shall pass. Within a couple of months after that, things really started to turn around. And it's funny, like, although the back half of the year has been the worst 6 months ever, this front 6 months has also been the best 6 months ever. It's really been, I guess, a financial year of extreme duality. The second thing that I really took out of the last 12 months was the importance of relationships and having good people around you. Because when you're told that you can't be more than 1.5 meters like to another person, and you can't see your closest friends and family, and you've all been locked down to your house, it kind of makes you realize just how important human connection is, and you are only as strong as the people in your world. And it's been, even though I felt so separated at the same time, I haven't felt more connected or more present with the people in my life. And it really sort of drove that home to, it's not about business and it's not about the next thing. It's about really enjoying what you created with the people you love. And thirdly, it's to back your team, because in business, you are only as strong as your team. And that was something that I really focused on when all the craziness happened, was that to make sure that my team felt really safe and that they knew that we were going to get through this and that their income was stable. And then also with the greater team, like my referral partners, I spent that 6-month period just making new connections and onboarding more and more referral partners to really help build those relationships and really share the vision that when we work together, we do anchor a higher frequency. And one thing I love about what we do in the brokerage is that we take 3D money, like denser money, bank money, like typically corporate money, and we recycle it back into New World business, into New World education programs. And when this happens, money is being re-released back into the system in its purest form, in abundance, freedom, and co-creation. So those 3 things would be my biggest takeaways. I'd be curious, like, what have been some of your biggest takeaways out of the last 12 months? Because yeah, it really had a way of bringing back home to the core of what's true and what's important. So yeah, I'd love to hear your comments below.